Hi folks, welcome back to the Model 3 Man channel. I have something today that I think is a mixture of fun, entertainment, but also many of you are going to find this very useful. Many centuries ago, when early caveman began thinking about things, they had many questions. For example, isn't there a better alternative to square wheels? Other questions like, how can I run faster than the dinosaur that's chasing me? And then there was an intriguing question that early Stone Age men asked themselves without fully understanding it. And the question was this: how do I persuade my wife that I need to buy a Tesla? And of course, this was a really intriguing question because at this point, the Tesla had not yet evolved out of the primordial sludge, which is, of course, how Teslas have arisen, just by evolution, naturally. So, of course, Tesla had to spend many more centuries evolving until finally arising out of the earth to become a fully fledged, beautiful vehicle. See, modern man still has many questions like, why is the internet down again? Or, who took that last beer that I was saving in the fridge? And of course, today, the question still remains, how do I persuade my wife that I need to buy a Tesla? Well, men, you've come to the right place. That's the question we're going to look at today. I can immediately hear the woke criticism. How can you possibly just assume that all the people that are listening are men? Checkmate. That's the reason that we're doing it. Of course, the other reason is women are too smart to need a video to tell them how to persuade their husbands to get things or to do things. Women know instinctively how to make us do what they want. Men don't. So men, here's your episode: how to persuade your wife that you really need to buy a Tesla. Let's look at a few don'ts, and then we'll get into the positives. How do we persuade? Number one, don't insult her intelligence by assuming that she cannot understand technical issues, technical facts. That's not going to get you your Tesla. Number two, if she does agree to give you a Tesla, don't go fobbing her off with a Kia Rio or some other little combustion engine vehicle. You're going to have to work out, how do I pay for 2 Teslas in my family? Number three, don't use blackmail or intimidation. Those will come back to bite you so quickly when you least expect it. And number four, do not undermine every one of her arguments. Just present her with arguments that are incontestable. Let's look at the things that will persuade your wife, your partner, that you really do need to get this Tesla. Number one, highlight safety. Now, don't imply under any circumstances that your wife is not a good driver or a safe driver. In fact, statistics show that probably they drive more safely than men. We take more risks. Wives, women are tending to be more careful and cautious when they drive. But you're going to highlight the fact that you want your family to be kept safe. And there's no safer car, as we've described in many episodes before, no safer car than the range of Teslas. Whatever you have, if you're in a Tesla, you're much safer, and so is your precious wife and your children, however many children you may have. So that's an argument that's really hard to argue against. How's your wife going to counter the argument that you want to keep her safe because she's precious to you and so are your children? Number two, point out the financial savings. If you're buying a Tesla, the sticker price is always going to be higher than comparative vehicles. But when you begin taking things into account, like the maintenance or reduced maintenance costs, the fact that you're not paying for gasoline, the fact that after 4 years, literally, your vehicle has paid off that excess amount on the sticker price, and now you're gaining financially with every year that you own the car. Studies show that many people own their vehicles from 5 to 10 years. So after year 4, or maybe even year 3, you have already broken even, and you're already paying less for your vehicle than you would have done had you bought a comparative ICE vehicle. I say comparative. Remind her of all the things she'll be able to buy with all that extra cash that comes from the vehicle savings. Number three, show your wife that the touchscreen in the Tesla is very, very much like her phone and her tablets and her iPads, and that this is something she doesn't have to learn or figure out or puzzle over. She's already successfully, probably better than you are, using an iPad, using a phone, using a touchscreen, and she knows how they work. So she's coming into a vehicle where she's already feeling at home with the touchscreen environment, where she already knows basically how to tap, click, explore. Look at many ICE vehicles, and they have a plethora of knobs and buttons and wheels and gauges and dials and vents. Look at the Tesla, touchscreen and a few buttons on the wheels. So that's an advantage to you. She already knows how to control the basic operations of the touchscreen. Number 4, this is a good one. Take her for a test drive, but make absolutely sure that you let her do the driving. Don't drive for her. So you take her on a test drive, somewhere where she can get some open road, where she can accelerate, where she can feel it out. Because I'm telling you this, when people feel and experience the driving sensation in a Tesla, it's really hard to settle for other cars when you've experienced this. You have to make sure that your wife knows how it feels to drive a Tesla. Number 5. This is a bit of a psychological one, but play to your knowledge of your wife's likes and dislikes and the things she enjoys and the things that give her pleasure. So here's an example. Janine, otherwise known as Dragon Lady, because she can be pretty fierce. Playing to Janine's strengths and her likes. She loves music. She is a music teacher. She loves listening to music. She gets as emotional during listening to it and playing it as I do, which is why we've lasted 40 years. How does that factor into me playing to Janine's particular likes and her tastes? Well, the Model 3 sound system is literally the best I've heard in a car. All right, I've not heard every car, but I'm telling you, the premium sound in my Model 3 is unbelievably good. The number of speakers is amazing, in excess of 12 individual speakers. The wonderful wide stereo, wide surround sound that it produces gives you the feeling of being immersed in the music. So the experience of listening to music in the car, whether you're driving or you're just parked, is absolutely awesome. That's what I pointed out to Janine when we first began talking about a Tesla. I had her sit in the car. We played some of her favorite music. So whatever your wife likes or tends to favor, try and find a way to connect that to some attribute that the Tesla vehicle has and make that connection. Number 6, I call this one the fair trade. For your wife to agree to your urgent need to get a Tesla, you're gonna have to give something up. She's not going to buckle and cave and give it to you without something in return. You know your partner or your wife. You know what she really wants. So this is where we trade. She gives you the right to buy the Tesla. You give her that extension on the house, that remodeling of the suite, changing the windows. I don't know what it is in your family. I know that in my family, Janine sits and watches these home improvement programs way too much. And then she has incredible ideas of what we need to do in our house. So make it a fair trade. She gives you something, you give her something, you end up both being happy. Number 7, buy the car for her. This is a dramatic demonstration of your love for her. It's also one that comes with great risks, because you and I know that when she drives her Tesla, she's hardly ever going to give it up to you. There are going to be very few occasions when you can take her Tesla for a ride. Of course, the other thing is that if money is no object, once you bought it for her and she's in love with it, she's not going to stop you getting your own. In fact, because you keep trying to borrow her car, she's going to push you to get your own. And then you can get the newer one with the 4680 batteries and all the wonderful extended range that we know is coming down the pipeline. At that point, of course, you are then a 2 Tesla family. To get there, you must have won the lottery, or you both earn good salaries and you can afford to do it. Number 8, here's a clever one. Use her friends to persuade her. I'm talking here about use her Tesla owning friends. So it doesn't come from you. The pressure is coming from her mates. Get in contact with one or two of her girlfriends that you know owns a Tesla or the family has a Tesla. Persuade them to talk to your wife, give her a ride, do it without sharing that you've requested that. I can tell you this, that girl pressure, social pressure, peer pressure works much better than husband pressure. Number 9, name drop. What do I mean by that? Well, drop the names of friends of hers that own a Tesla or people she detests. Either one will work just as well. Now think about it. If some of her most respected friends, ones that she's closest to, have a Tesla, and you tell her about that, it's going to create in her mind a little bit of a, yeah, she's got it, we should get it. Girls like to do things together sometimes, if they're good things. And if she detests that person, it's even better, because there's a person she dislikes, and that person has jumped ahead and got a Tesla. She doesn't want to be inferior to that person that she detests. At least that's my male take on it. I'm sure if you ask your wives, would that work? Who knows? But name drop. Do it casually. Don't make it a campaign. Just a little comment here and there, and she begins to realize that the rest of her friend community is getting into a Tesla. Pretty compelling as an argument. That's number 9. Finally, let me say this. Your wife is a creature that moves through life using her intuition. Women have intuition about situations, about motives, about the hidden things. You're going to have to be pretty smart not to make this campaign so obvious that she sees through it and she immediately shuts down. This is where your homework comes in. Sit down and make a list of how you think, using these points here, you could probably most effectively reach your wife and persuade her. If you can think of any other ideas that I've left out, or any other things that would work in persuading a partner, please go put them in the comments. And remember, the YouTube algorithm likes likes.
Slap like now.
If you give this episode a like, and you give it a thumbs up, and you subscribe, it helps YouTube to offer this video to more people that have never ever come onto our channel before. Please do that. I thank you for it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers for now.